Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Survival Let's Play, Let's Build, whatever you want to call it series. This is episode 9, I believe, and it doesn't feel like it's only been 9 episodes because I feel like I've been playing in this world a lot longer than 9 episodes worth, but still, we're almost to 10, or getting there. You can tell I have been busy just by looking at the wall behind me. Look at all those pillager banners, goodness. I actually had to start putting them on the other wall because I was running out of space. But I have been very busy. You can also tell I finally got myself a full set of fully enchanted diamond armor. So that's exciting. Before I actually go into any of the building that I was going to be doing today, you know, there are a couple things I haven't quite showed off to everyone yet. A couple of farms that I have put in place. Of course, I have so many more to do, but I do have this fully functional and looks like overstocked sugarcane farm. There's like some pieces floating there, and it's probably because this chest is absolutely stuffed with it. Okay, so we are set on sugarcane, and I'm going to be needing a lot of it later on for a future project that is still just in the thinking stages. And I also have a little chicken farm that I have created. It produces enough for what I need. And I have finished my map, finally, so we can see the surrounding area. There's not much to look at. Actually, most of it is swamp. This is just one big swamp. And there are a few mountains here and there spread out in this direction. And then we just have a lot of forest and rivers. But I think it looks nice. It looks really good. Let's get a look at our base now. I updated a couple of the maps, and oh, if you look closely, there's actually a new structure right here. Something I have been working on in our mountain, and this is where we're gonna go and work on today. So, as you can see right there, I have been very busy. And coming around this corner, we can see my portal tower. And it has taken me a lot longer to build this than you might think, but it is rather detailed and maybe a little too much because I tend to do that. And it's not finished yet. I do have the basic structure finished, but I still need to work on some things like staircases, and we are going to spend this episode actually decorating this whole area because I'm actually going to transform this whole little ravine that I actually dug out by hand. I dug into the mountain down to this level, and I want to turn this into a garden. So this is going to be our garden / portal tower. It's going to look really good, I'm hoping, when it's finished. But let's go ahead and take a look at what I've already done. I've done quite a bit, like I said. I moved my portal from underneath the mountain to up here, and I have this little room set up. And eventually we'll have it covered in vines and looking very green around, because right now it does look a little bit funny with all the different diorite and quartz blocks and whatever else I have mixed in, but I didn't really care as much about how it looked on the outside because I'm going to be covering it anyway with a lot of leaves, so I'm not too worried about that. So I got a little bit of a head start here for this episode. I gathered a few supplies of things I'll possibly be needing. A lot of it is for when we get around to gardening, but the very first thing I should do is I need to create a staircase that goes down from here to the ground. I think it's going to come out the back way and kind of wrap around, but maybe it would be easier for me to get a look at it from the outside to try this. Yeah, so coming out this end, and then I want it to wrap around the outside and spiral downward. To make it land perfectly though, maybe I'll actually have it come out that side, then we can have it turn down here and then turn all the way around down to there. I think that would work out the best. So let me take a moment and see if I can lay this out. Oh, and no sooner have I started than a pigman comes through. Right when I was just getting ready. Let's go ahead and take care of him. We don't want... Oh, that was a little bit of lag. He didn't hit me right away. That was interesting. Anyway, I think I'm just going to be using birch for this to start, and then we'll kind of come up with a fancy railing, but I just want the actual path to be out of wood, and this is the part I'm kind of not sure what to do with yet. Do I want it to just come level here, or do I want it to start curving down immediately? I'm kind of feeling like it should just start ramping down right away, but that's going to be a little bit trickier. Let's see if we can't get this shape right. So if I had this curve over this way, and then just gradually have it go down, Now ideally, the best way to do this would be for me to outline an outer circle and then trace around it, but I don't know if I'm going to go through all that trouble. I'm probably just going to eyeball it and hope it looks okay in the end. It'll be a little bit faster, and I don't really care if it's perfect at this point. Alright, I think I got the path kind of how I want it. It's not perfect, of course, but it's good enough. I just have it wrapping around, and I wanted to make sure it stopped at the right spot, and I think I did accomplish that. So now I'm just going to try to come up with some kind of railing or siding for this. I'm just going to use andesite. I was thinking about using diorite, but I think it was just not going to look good right next to my building. And I didn't want to just use wood either, because I kind of want it to look like it's coming out of the mountain a little bit. So I wanted to stick with some kind of stone. So let's just cover this on both sides. Actually, yeah, this side might be able to just connect straight to the mountain. The other side, though, is just going to be kind of left floating. So we could do this. Let's just use stone a little bit down here. I don't want to use up all of my andesite to fill this in. Well, we'll just mess around with what we have here. We'll do some andesite. We'll try connecting it, and we'll see if I like it. Alright, make sure that we have at least one or a half block on each side. This one can stay there. We'll need one here. And maybe one right here. Alright, let's see how I like this. What I did is I just did like a wall for part of it, and then it kind of goes back to being a half wall, and whoa. This part needs to be cleaned up quite a bit too, but there's that little block right there I need to remove. Alright, so let's get down here and see what it looks like from a distance. I think it's might look a little strange, but it's going to be covered up for the most part. Alright, that doesn't look terrible. I probably will taper it off a little bit more back there, but let's get this side filled in. This is going to connect to the bottom too. And there we go. It looks good so far. I might add some walls or something on top of it to give it a little more detail, but I think it's pretty good. The only thing I don't like about it is how random it is, but then again, I tend to build randomly quite a bit, where it's just kind of placed randomly, and then I just hope it looks okay, and I think it's fine. It's probably fine. I'm just overthinking it like I always do. It would be nice though if we had this mountain completely filled out with stone, because this dirt popping right here looks ugly. And I probably will want to clean up underneath of it too with andesite. We probably should cover up all of this, either stone or andesite. Stone might work too, and I probably have more of it. So let's just cover up the bottom of it with stone, and that will clean it up underneath so it doesn't look so light. I really want it to just blend with the mountain, so I think this will look really nice. Alright, so how does this look? I put a few walls kind of spread out on the railing. That doesn't look terrible. And then I just went ahead and covered up the whole underneath of it with stone. Some of it could probably be smoothed off a little bit better, but I think it looks pretty good. And up there in that dark area, instead of putting torches to light it up, I just went ahead and covered as many of those as I could with a stone slab. There's probably some I missed, but I think for the most part all those dark areas have a bottom slab on them, so nothing should be spying up there. Okay, I think the structure is finished for the most part, so now we can get into the fun part of adding all the vines and greenery and gardens and anything else I can come up with. Alright, let's go ahead and just grab all of these leaves. Whoops, not that. And we'll just start placing them. So I have some oak and jungle. Actually, let me see. Where is the jungle? So we'll just probably just mix them in a little bit. I wanted some of the larger leaves of the jungle. And it does have some extra colors in it too. Wow, it looks so dark though because we're on a mountain, and it really does change the color of the leaves quite a bit. So they're not going to be really bright and pretty, but we'll just work with what we have. If you couldn't tell, I tried to make the leaves spiral around some of these pillars, and it looks okay on some, but I don't know if it looks too repetitive to do it everywhere, so I tried to keep it as sporadic as possible. And I didn't put leaves on all of the pillars too for that same reason, but I don't think it looks terrible. It's definitely not finished yet. I want to add more to it. I wish I could put flowers on there somehow, but there's really no way we can do that in survival without having dirt mixed in, and I don't think that would look very good. I also went ahead and mixed in some fences up there inside the leaves to kind of look like vines. And now I think what I really need to do is go on a little scavenger hunt for a bunch of different flowers, because I want to have as many different kinds as I can in here. And I already do have a few, but I need more. I know of a good spot where there's some sunflowers, and I know for sure I don't have any of those, and I will be wanting some, so let's go this way. I know there's some sunflowers in this direction, so let's go check it out. Ah, there they are. It took me a while to find them, but there are the sunflowers. And there's lots of horses around here too. This is really nice plains biome, right behind our mountain. Ooh, and here's a whole bunch. Just don't fall in the ditch and you'll be fine. There's a lot of wild wolves around here too. Hello, buddy. Ooh, and I love the cornflowers. Let's go ahead and grab some of those. And more sunflowers. Now these are all facing towards the east, I believe. So I'm gonna have to make sure I put them in a place where they'll actually be visible. Actually, my garden isn't really facing towards the east, but we'll work with what we have. And now that I think about it, maybe we should grab some bamboo too. That'll make a nice, just additional greenery to the area. It's a nice light green, and since all the other greens in the biome are so dark, I think it'll be nice. So I haven't actually thought through if I'm going to be adding trees in this area, but let's just start by putting some flowers down and stuff. We can put some bamboo maybe along the mountain here, let that grow in. Back here in this corner, I will be adding a little waterfall, so then we'll have a little pond right there. I can get that set up too. Actually, let me go ahead and do that first. That way I can have a better idea of where my flowers are gonna go. I think I need to get one more bucket of water. Hello guys, you enjoying my gardening? Me too. That looks a little better. I can mess with that later, but that looks good. Now I just have to fill this in with water. I should probably just have made an infinite source over here so I didn't have to walk all the way over here. Oh well, it's okay. And let's go ahead and line this with some sand just so we have a little bit of different colors of land coming around here. I want it to be as bright and cheerful as possible, so I'm okay with mixing in a few different types of land. I should actually get some smooth sandstone slabs to raise that up a bit, but maybe we'll do that a little later, but that looks pretty good as a good start. And we can even add some, I have a few vines. Let's go ahead and put a few vines back here along this wall. And we'll just let those grow at their own right. And of course, lily pads, I will be adding those too. Now over here, I think I will just put some flower gardens. Actually, I dropped all of my flowers off up here because I was running out of space in my inventory, but let's go up there and grab those. And I do have some lilacs. I actually need to make more of these. Now we got plenty to spread around. I don't think I have any tall roses, but this will be good. We'll put the tall ones in the back. And let's see, what other colors do I have? I'm just going to be basing this off a color. And put some lilies around. Some of these. And where are those cornflowers? I want to put some cornflowers mixed in here too. So a neat little trick I'm trying is I'm just going to put a piece of string on top of these bamboo so they don't grow any taller than I want them to. That way I can kind of adjust the height of them. So I let that one grow a little bit taller, but these ones are still quite small. I have a piece of string on top of them. I don't know if that's the best way to keep something from growing. It was just the first thing I thought of. And I think it's going to work out well because you can barely see it. And if you get up close, it really doesn't make that much difference. So yeah, so it's a great way to control the length of my bamboo. I even put some string in place here in some places, so once the bamboo reaches that height, it should stop. Now, what other flowers do I have in here? Now, I do also have these sunflowers, but I think they're going to be facing in this direction when I place them, so we might have to put some of these over here so that we can actually look at them when we're down here. I might have to do a little bit of extra landscaping over here to make room for them though. And I can't forget that I have all these ferns and berry bushes I can plant too. And I'll probably want to put some paths through here as well. So actually let me do that first, just so I can kind of lay out exactly where I want this little path to go. We can have it even going inside. I think I have plans for what I want to do inside. So maybe you guys can help me decide what we should put in here. I have one of two options. I could do a fancy floor design, or I could do a little dirt path around it with a tree growing inside, which I think I really kind of want to do the tree, and then I can give it some bright colored leaves, maybe using wool or something to help it stand out. So that's what I'm thinking. I might not get around to doing that this episode, but that is the plan. I need to get another shovel. And just like I did for the path in the front, I'm going to line this with some coarse dirt. And I think this should be good. It doesn't really go anywhere, it just kind of ends on the end here, but I have some plans for what I could possibly add back here. I'll see if I actually go through with it, but for now it's just gonna go to nowhere. The more I'm in this world, the more ideas I'm getting, so that's a good thing. I'm not gonna run out of things to do anytime soon. I feel like I need more height, so maybe what I'll do is add a few larger bushes. I think in this corner here, I'm not too terribly happy with it. So let's see what we can do. Let's put some fences down and maybe use some jungle leaves. And we'll just kind of create a little tree slash bush. Let's see what that looks like. I think that will look pretty good. I need to get one more on top here. Right there, if I can reach it. That does look a little bit better, and maybe we'll do another little tree over here, basically where all these lilacs are. I just feel like it's too much the same level, so I want to raise it up a little bit. And we'll just put some leaves around here. That looks a little better. Okay, let's see what I have done. I have just gone around and done quite a bit of detailing, adding in a few extra plants and even some custom rocks, believe it or not, because I don't know, I just felt like it would be nice to have something different overhanging the path a little there. So this is what we have so far. It actually looks pretty good. It's not exactly like I was picturing it, but I guess it won't ever be exactly like I'm picturing it. It's Minecraft, so this is probably the best I'm going to get. So I'm going to leave this as it is now, and if I ever think of more things to add to it or things to change up, I can do that anytime. But this is a good start, and like I said before, I'll probably add a custom tree in here eventually, maybe make it a little prettier with some bright colorful leaves, we'll see. But now let's actually go and do what I said we would start doing last episode. Let's go ahead and read some of the challenges and or suggestions for this episode. So let's start with the challenge because it's something that I've actually already done. The challenge says use 2 stacks of granite in your next project. I'm not going to try to pronounce this name just because I don't want to butcher it too badly. But thank you for suggesting it, and I actually tried to incorporate granite in my portal tower if you didn't notice. And I did use 2 full stacks plus a little extra. And even though I've been using granite quite a bit, it's really not one of my favorite building blocks. I'm just trying to build out of my comfort zone a lot lately in these. So yes, this was a good challenge and something simple to start with. Now for suggestions, I actually have 2. The first one says, you should build a bridge across the creek using extinguished campfires. Thank you, Liam, for the suggestion. I actually really like this idea, and it's perfect because I actually need to make a bridge across my creek. How did you know? And so did this next suggestion, which says, I think a big statue on that snowy mountain would look great. Thank you, Alderson the Destroyer, for that suggestion. You actually read my mind because I was actually planning on doing a statue on the mountain already. That's probably something I'll get into in either the next episode or the episode after that. Sometime soon, we will do that. But for today, we can at least take care of those campfire bridges, and this will also help us start a path to our portal tower, which right now doesn't really have a path leading up to it. So let's get the materials we need for this. How is that even possible? I don't understand. Let's dig this up. Extinguished campfires. It does make a nice bridge indeed, even though it's got the little ashes underneath. That is so cool though. I didn't even think about doing that. So I really appreciate that suggestion, and I actually want to add on to it. Let's go ahead and finish this little path up to the portal tower. What did I do with my shovel? It probably broke. Again, I really need to get a diamond one of these days, but I also need to get more mending books. And I know this bridge isn't that big, but we'll have to make a bigger one sometime using these same blocks because it does look really good. It's just that this creek isn't that large and doesn't need that large of a bridge. But I really like the idea nonetheless. Alright, one little path up on the mountain is done. I did end up using a lot of spruce in between and even a little spruce staircase at the top. I'm probably going to replace all of this with grass and then finish the path later on, but I like how it's looking so far. Thank you guys once again for joining me for another episode. I don't know how I feel about this garden. I'm still trying to make up my mind about it. You can let me know what you think about it so far. I feel like there's more we can add to it, but it's definitely coming along and kind of beautifying this area back here a little bit better. So until next time, whoa, when I shift, I'm like sinking in the glass. I don't know why. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you again in another episode. Bye!